Coming up, a tragic update on a violent crime in Killeen where 2 children have passed, how residents this morning are trying to make sense of it all, and what we can report. All ahead on Good Morning Texas. And with some storms, things can change quickly. It was here on Main Street in Marlin where one resident described the effects of that hailstorm as a transformation from a street to a river. We have breaking news this morning. A man was shot and killed, another seriously injured in a shooting on Austin Avenue in downtown Waco. Hi, good morning. I'm Garrett Hottle. And we do have some breaking news this morning. Temple fire crews are currently working to put out a structure fire at 41 Vista Drive. That's where 3 buildings are currently on fire. Hi, I'm Garrett Hottle. Here in McLennan County or any other town in central Texas, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody that hasn't encountered them before. Hailstorms. And an update this morning, 2 drivers were killed during what Waco police described as a serious 3-car crash that occurred on the southbound lanes of Highway 6 on the Twin Bridges over Lake Waco. Now, this all occurred on Saturday evening with police responding to the call of an accident around 7:22 p.m. On the scene, they discovered a 31-year-old man who was involved in the crash, and he was ultimately pronounced dead on the scene. 2 others were taken to the hospital with serious injuries at the time. Among them, a 53-year-old woman who would later die at the hospital due to those injuries. Hey, good morning, Joey and Brianna. Now, we know Baylor students here in Waco have seen their spring break come and go, but if you travel up and down along I-35 where I'm standing right now, or I'm sure we have lots of friends and family across the state of Texas that have their kids that are right in the middle of spring break. And businesses really all week long, and especially today, have been gearing up for an increase in foot traffic. One of those reasons, of course, March Madness, the big basketball tournament, and today, St. Patrick's Day. Well, in health-related news on a very timely subject, don't forget to turn your clocks ahead an hour today. If they read 7:18 like mine, they're wrong. It's not. It's 8:18. And if daylight savings time isn't throwing off your sleep schedule, well, then you're one of the lucky ones. There's actually a reason why it does. Mandy Gaither has more on how that time change affects you in today's Health Minute. Police say the fight then spilled out into the street, at which time at least one person fired a gun several times, ultimately hitting 2 individuals. A 30-year-old man was killed during the incident. He's believed not to have been involved in that initial fight. Another victim was seriously injured and transported to a hospital in Temple. His condition is unknown at this time. And the numbers become especially important when you consider the recent spike in inflation. Rising gas prices, add to that rising cost of rent, childcare, healthcare, and transportation, just to name a few, and it really puts those numbers into perspective. As inflation continues to rise, well, so does the cost of food and other everyday items. Because of this, though, donations to food banks are also starting to slow down, and we're starting to see local organizations try to correct that. 25 News reporter Alicia Nespreto explains how one group in Waco is filling the void. Meanwhile, NATO is reporting Russian forces are using cluster bombs, which are widely banned artillery, and other types of weapons, which could be in violation of international law as they continue to carry out their assault on Ukraine for what's now in its 10th day. Well, I think right now you can say uncertainty. You mentioned it there, at least in the markets, and that's going to lead to volatility. I did speak with the McLennan County Ag Extension Office and the Texas Farm Bureau about not just those challenges for Texas farmers, but also the problems farmers are facing at home and what opportunities could be on the horizon. Recent news grabbing headlines nationally and abroad. Here's why. The former Baylor Lady Bear standout has reportedly been arrested in Russia on drug charges. This is according to a Russian news agency. Griner was taken into custody at the Moscow airport this month. Customs agents allegedly finding vapes with liquid cannabis or hash oil in the Texas native's carry-on. That's illegal in Russia. The former Baylor Bear plays with the Phoenix Mercury, but spends her off-season playing for a Russian women's basketball team. There so far hasn't been a comment from a representative. However, the WNBA has expressed their support for Griner, calling for her swift and safe return home.
What else is going on there?
Well, one thing Director Johnson also mentioned, this was put on pause last year due to the pandemic, but they're having the Roundup event, which is on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is for the kiddos, so I know a lot of them are on spring break, and there's going to be reenactors out there of Texas Rangers. Sounds like a whole lot of fun, and we know there's always a story at the museum. However, the operation has had its share of issues. According to a report from Army Times, 3 soldiers from a task force based in McAllen during their deployment to the border. And earlier this year, a DPS trooper died after a crash near the border. It kicks off around 7 a.m. The winds of change have blown here at Brazos Park East. This is the second stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Great story there, Alicia. Meanwhile, the time is 8:05. Bang, kind of like yesterday. Cloud cover maybe spoiling the sunrise, but not the spirit. It sounds like Baylor beats Iowa State this afternoon. And Kansas loses to Texas, then they get the Big 12 championship outright. If both of them win, they share it. And the girls already are Big 12 champions. You mentioned how the wind has got to affect players. I talked to some of the leaders on the tour, and they said lightning is the only thing that will cause any cancellations. Before we go, I know this is Bane's favorite story. I think people at home are going to get a kick out of it, too. It's about a stuffed animal that was lost around Christmas time last year by one little boy when he was taking a trip on a plane across the country. And, well, we can report today he's reunited with that stuffed animal. Plus, we hinted at some potential changes arriving to I-35 in our near future. We're going to tell you when and where in your 25 News Ahead. Don't go anywhere. Well, hopefully you're taking advantage of the weather conditions we're seeing today. We're kind of on a back-to-back slide of beautiful conditions across the area. Our Clark roofing cam is telling the story at the moment. You'll see partly cloudy skies here in Waco overlooking the city, and temperature right around 67 degrees, and we're dealing with these conditions generally across the area where we're seeing partly cloudy skies. Temperatures a little bit warmer, close to that 70-degree mark. We're a little bit warmer towards our far east counties like the Brazos Valley, and you'll notice mid-60s for the most part. Still a lot of mid-60s across that I-35 corridor is what we're registering at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if some places are already 70 degrees, and you can already see to our far west places like San Saba, Mills, Hamilton starting to creep and crawl towards that 70-degree mark. Highs today are generally going to cap right around that 70-degree mark, so very accommodating. We could see a few places jump up to, say, 74, 75, and we'll be keeping an eye on that as we go forward. Overall, partly cloudy skies are going to carry us forward through your midday going into the afternoon hours, and then we're going to start to see a little bit of change with an increase in cloud cover right around, say, 4 or 5 o'clock. And you'll notice this is our future track as we take you forward towards right around 4:30 p.m. So right before dinner time, you'll start to notice those clouds start to move across the area. We'll clear out, it looks like, from west to east, but it's going to linger around a little bit longer in the Brazos Valley. As we go forward into Friday, we start to clear out into the first part of our morning, and our lows are going to hover close to that 40-degree mark. So I would just keep the jacket just to be careful, because it could be a little bit chilly, and it's probably going to feel a little bit colder than our temperature is indicating. So generally expect temperatures to feel like they're in the 30s, even though our lows overnight are going to hover right around that 40-degree mark. Now, in terms of changes, we were talking about a little bit of that cloud cover starting to get ushered into the mix as we go forward, and hinting at maybe the chance for some rain activity starting to develop. And you can notice that showing on our future track as we take you into Friday. So overall, expect partly to mostly cloudy skies for our Thursday, and then as we roll into Friday, mostly cloudy skies, and then there's that chance for maybe a stray shower to slip into the mix, mainly for the Brazos Valley. We're going to be monitoring this as we go forward into the weekend, is when it looks like we're going to have a little bit better chance. I would say Saturday and Sunday, mainly Saturday afternoon, early Sunday morning, is when we're going to have the greatest chances for some of those showers and potentially some storms. Our extended future track is going to show you it's going to be real hit or miss as we go into your weekend. So overall, I would just be prepared for maybe the slight possibility for maybe a severe storm to slip into the mix Sunday morning. But of course, we're going to keep an eye on it for you. Take a look at our 10-day forecast, which is going to tell you the story the best of what to expect going forward. High temperatures generally in the mid-70s for the next couple of days, partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then that weekend, Saturday, we introduce the slight chance for rain showers in the Brazos Valley, a little bit here, maybe in central Texas, a stray shower slipping in the mix. And then Sunday morning, potentially some showers and storms for the first part of our day. And then as we go into Monday and Tuesday, we'll keep that chance of precipitation, and then it will wane off once again as we go into the rest of the week. Joey, what do you think?
Right. Hey, I'm thinking I was going to wash the car, but maybe I should wait a few days.
Hold off a few days, maybe.
Save me some money. All right. Thanks a lot, Garrett. We appreciate it. Oh, Garrett, it's turning out to be a pretty nice day to be outdoors.
Turning out to be a gorgeous day if you're outdoors. You know, one thing I love about our Clark roofing cams is they give us perspective no matter where you are across central Texas. This is overlooking I-14 in Killeen at the moment. You'll see see a little bit more cloud cover. The good news is the temperature is very accommodating, folks. We're close to that 70-degree mark. For the most part, we're going to be dealing with partly to mostly cloudy skies as we go forward for the rest of your day. I'm not anticipating any issues there. Lows overnight are going to plunge close to that 40-degree mark. It'll probably feel like we're in the 30s as we roll into Thursday. A little bit of a rinse and repeat. Will be a little bit warmer as we head into the weekend. And then as we hit Saturday, Joey, it looks like the good news is we're going to keep that rain chance at bay. But Sunday, be sure to stay weather aware. There's a chance